If you're thinking of buying or selling a home and you watch the news or media or even the internet, there's probably times where you feel like this.
Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover! SOS! Mayday! Mayday! Run for your lives!
Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do know that making decisions based on emotion rarely leads to a good one. And what I like to do in both when I'm my own analysis on buying real estate and figuring out if now is a good time to buy or sell is look at the data and figure out what it's saying and also where the market's headed. Hey everyone, this is Rayce Robinson, your favorite Florida mortgage broker. And I can tell you after 20 plus years of lending, it's probably one of the most confusing times I've ever seen to make a good decision on buying or selling. And especially when it comes to buying, not everybody should be buying in this market. So we're gonna break it down into 3 different categories I think that you want to look at, the questions you want to ask yourself to figure out is now a good time to buy. And if you're looking to sell, look in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, and I'll put the link to where I'll give you more advice or information on I think what the data says about selling. But remember, understanding the mindset of a buyer is also important. So even if you're thinking of selling, this is probably good information to look at. Now, the first thing we want to look at is there going to be a major market crash or correction? Meaning nobody wants to buy a home and then 3 months later have it be worth a lot less than we paid for. And so I pulled up the Orlando area market 20-year history. I'll put the link in the description so you can pull this chart up yourself. And the market is always changing, but the only really market crash, the Great Recession, in our lifetime has been in 2008. And so in 2008, we look at what happened. We ended up with 25,200 or 724 homes on the market, 31 months of inventory, and you can see there was just a lot of inventory on the market. The only way that we can have a major price correction is for there to be more inventory than demand, and that is just not going to happen. How it happened in 2008 is simple, is that there were all these toxic mortgages, nobody had any equity, most of the loans were 100% financing, and when the market turned with people with, sellers that had no equity, they had no incentive to keep their home. Also, their rates had adjusted to much higher payments. They were just giving them back to the bank. And I was around in 2008. Almost the entire market was short sales where people were lining up to give their house back to the bank. Fast forward to today, and you can see right here, we have almost 6,758 homes on the market, which is only 2.64 months of inventory, and sales transactions dropping down to 2,558. That means that in 2008, there were 30 months of inventory, meaning it would take 30 months to go through the available inventory based on the demand. And right now there's barely 2.5 months, which means that all that's happening is you have sellers who have record low interest rates, record low payments. There's no foreclosures hardly on the market. And at the same time, no incentive for these clients or sellers that own homes to actually put their house on the market because they'd have to take a much higher rate. So you have this 2 things going on at the same time, meaning rates are higher, which we'll talk about, affordability is lower because prices haven't came down, and inventory is staying really low. And even now you see builders pulling back because rates are moving up, so they're building less. And again, no sellers putting their home on the market, which is why when you look at some of the information, for instance, I pulled a chart up here. It's getting a little bit older now, but from like Case-Shiller, FHFA, CoreLogic, Black Knight, and Zillow, they're basically predicting not only appreciation in 2023, but also in 24 and also in 25. Now, the market is not going to appreciate the way it had during the few years after COVID, where they dropped rates to record low rates. But there really is no, in my opinion, chance for any type of major market correction, especially here in Central Florida, because there's just no inventory. And that's why all those companies are predicting that, is because they see the same thing. Now, there always could be a black swan event, like a COVID or something that we can't count on. But barring that, you're likely to see prices continue to stay stable and at the same time, maybe trickle a little bit up. Meanwhile, demand, meaning the amount of people that want to buy, has been going down steadily. So I'm going to say number 2 would be not being able to buy because of the higher interest rates. And I've got a lot of clients saying, I may wait until rates drop. And the truth is everyone's situation is different. But what does the data say? Should you wait if you want to buy a home till affordability gets better because rates rates drop and get lower. The great news is, well, rates are likely on their way down in 2024. When you look right here, this is mortgage rate predictions from US News, and you can see they're showing Fannie Mae is predicting rates to be 6.3%. We have Wells Fargo saying 5.7%, and we have the Mortgage Bankers Association saying as low as 5.4%. Now, I don't know what the real number will be, just that most experts believe that rates will fall, and I do too, as we go throughout 2024, which lower rates make lower payments, which helps with affordability when prices aren't really likely to come down. One of the challenges of waiting is as rates fall, it does help with affordability, but it pushes more people into the market. And there's not really much inventory likely to come on unless rates fall, let's say, below 5%, which no one knows for sure, but in my opinion is not likely to happen soon. So what does that mean? It means that as rates fall, pushes more people into the market. You have inventory not really going up, which is why Zillow and Redfin and Black Knight and all these companies are predicting prices to continue to appreciate because they see the same thing. Probably rates fall, pushes more people in the market, and then prices start trickling up. So should you buy and wait for a lower rate? Again, I don't know for sure, and I don't have a crystal ball. No one can promise that rates will be lower, but I think that's likely. The problem is it will increase competition, it will increase prices, and there is some logic if you qualify to buy now, have a higher payment for some period of time, and then refinance when rates drop. Again, that at least lets you buy a home. The big complaint when rates were 2.5% to 3.5% is almost no first-time home buyers were able to get in the market because everybody was, buying, people were paying over appraised value, and it really didn't allow for first-time home buyers to come in the market. So I think it is a good opportunity while rates are higher, competition is lower, and sellers, even though there's not enough inventory, the market is definitely softer. And if you need help with closing costs or to buy the rate down, there are all kind of creative things that you can do that you can't do when there's more demand in the market. So again, if you can buy now, if you qualify for now, you're probably going to get a better overall deal. Yes, you're going to have a higher rate that you may need to refinance later, but you're also not going to be competing as many other buyers that should buy now. So should you wait for rates to drop? In my opinion, no. But that's a caveat to this third one, which is who should wait for sure and who should definitely buy now. And that really depends on what you qualify for. This actually brings me to the whole point of this video, which is a mentor told me once, Rayce, do not try to time the real estate market. And I can tell you over 20 plus years, it never works out when people do. If you're looking to buy and you're looking to hold for the long term, the real estate is undefeated at building wealth. And what's likely to happen is prices are continue to trickle up, and as rates fall, that's going to create more competition, making it harder and harder to buy. So should you buy now? Yes, with this caveat if you qualify, because as rates are higher, it does make it harder to qualify. And I believe in this kind of market, you need reserves. You need extra money, more than just a down payment, to have in reserve when you buy a home. Now that reserve can come from all kinds of different. I do different areas. I do home or loans for people all the time who their family is their reserves, right? Their parents are helping them, and if they're ever to get in financial trouble, their parents might help them with the payments. But you have to be able to, when you buy a house, know that things are going to go wrong, the AC is going to go out, eventually the roof is going to need to be replaced. And if you don't have any reserves, it's going to make it difficult to handle those things when the time comes. So I would say the point of this video is this. One, if you can qualify and you are in the market to buy a home, do not wait, because it will cost you more money and make it much more difficult to buy. And if you don't qualify, then you should be getting yourself ready, knowing what that is, so that as rates do fall and maybe you can get into the market whenever that is, because the right time to buy is when you qualify and when you want to buy a home. Take that rent money, invest it in your own real estate, and over time it always pays off. So that's my advice for this. Now, if you're a seller, it's a completely different math problem, but it's really kind of the same, which is when you can afford that move-up payment, that's, if you're a move-up buyer, that's the time to sell, because you're not losing any money, in my opinion, by waiting to sell, especially here in Central Florida, because prices really aren't going to go down. And so if you don't need to sell, it is hard to pay $800, $900, $1,000 more dollars per month. But one of the things we've been doing with sellers lately is having them sell their home, pay off all their debt, move up to a different house. It increases their housing payment, but with all the equity, they decrease all of their bills, and it ends up being netting out close to the same, and now they're in a bigger house. So again, everyone's situation is different. What I would do if I was a buyer, I would reach out to me, see if you qualify, see what the payments are, and figure out if you should wait, meaning on, do you need reserves, do you need more money? There are programs right now that help with down payment and some of those things. And if you're a seller, reach out to me. I know some great real estate agents that can do a CMA on your house and let you know exactly what you're going to get, exactly what you're going to net, and see if it makes sense to you. So, hey everyone, this is Rayce Robinson, your favorite Florida mortgage broker. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate you listening. And as a mortgage broker business and 25 years of experience, we have the lowest rates, lowest costs. We help you get the best deal on a mortgage, and we treat you like family all the way through. If you have any questions on this or anything else, reach out to me. I'd love to help. Have a great day, great week, great month. And as always, let me know what I can do to help. Thanks.